As you can see, I've had a nice haircut there because it was getting way too long, and I don't like having long hair. But unfortunately, my barber had gone away on holiday, so I was waiting till he could be back, and I could have a nice trim and have it cut nice and short. In any case, earlier today, someone put forward the usual myth about Donald Trump that he inherited a small amount of money from Daddy Fred Trump, and he grew it into billions. Unfortunately, that's, well, not to put too fine a point on it, absolute bollocks. We'll get back to that in a bit, but here's Fred Trump and Fred Trump's special and wonderful involvement with a particular legendary musician, Woody Guthrie. Now, I think most people above about age 35 or 40 will have heard of Woody Guthrie, especially anyone American watching this who will be aware of Woody. Perhaps less so if you're English, but let me do a share and you can hear about why Woody has a particular involvement with Fred. And just so someone doesn't say, oh, look, this guy's super biased, it's from Fox. Let me turn up the sound slightly.
So shed new light on the connection between legendary singer-songwriter and Oklahoma native Woody Guthrie and the Trump family, specifically the man Guthrie called Old Man Trump. This story begins back in the early 50s when Woody Guthrie rented an apartment in Brooklyn from Fred Trump, Donald Trump's father.
It came to his attention that African Americans were not welcome to rent the apartments at Beach Haven, and it kind of upset Woody. Woody was an early advocate for civil rights.
Dina McLeod, executive director of the Woody Guthrie Center in Tulsa, says a decade before that, Guthrie was already writing about injustices against African Americans. So when Guthrie found out people were turned away from Beach Haven because of the color of their skin, he once again did what he did best. He wrote a couple of songs, including the lyrics to a song called Beach Haven Ain't My Home. It was recently recorded by Annie DeFranco and Tom Morello. Guthrie also typed a single-spaced, full-page essay going into the details of equal rights, equal opportunity, and treating people with respect. In Guthrie's words, I suppose old man Trump knows just how much racial hate he stirred up in the blood pot of human hearts. More than a half century later, our country is still grappling with these issues.
Regardless of the politics, it's a message of acceptance, a message of equality and justice and doing the right thing.
As for Donald Trump, he has repeatedly defended his father and denied any racism. Woody Guthrie's lyrics and essay about Fred Trump are now on display at the Woody Guthrie Center downtown.
Right, let me stop that share there. Now, Woody also wrote a song called Old Man Trump, and I'll put a lyric to a couple of versions, a link to a couple of versions of it. This idea that Donald inherited $1 million, which is not exactly small pocket change anyway. If I gave you $1 million and you couldn't turn it into something bigger with a bit of wit and intelligence, I'd be a bit worried if you're a businessman. But in any case, I'll also put some links about that and how Donald inherited far more money than that through various shell corporations and all sorts of other methods. And as you will see, the apple doesn't land far from the tree. And we seem to be seeing a repetition of the whole process yet again. Fred Trump and Donald were also sued for this sort of carry on. When Donald took over the real estate business in the 1970s, there was a rather large court case over this whole issue of not renting to black people and that. And and that will appear in the links as well. So anyone going on about Donald and his wonderful ways of treating people and how he started from 10p and made it into billions might want to look at some of these links, because that's not really what happened. That might be the Donald Trump version of things in Trump world, but it's not the reality of the matter.